Hello there, 18th of April 2022. Greetings straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. This is what makes our top stories tonight. Officials in the Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement have reiterated that the policies of divisionism and genocidal ideologies are unacceptable and that there are laws in place to punish perpetrators. Potato farmers in Mudende sector of Rubavu district thank the government of Rwanda that in the aftermath of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, the government increased security and invested in agriculture, which has increased their productivity, hence helping citizens to develop. A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa. Officials in the Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement have reiterated that the policies of divisionism and genocidal ideology are unacceptable and that there are laws in place to punish perpetrators. Betty Mutoni has the report.
It has been 28 years since genocide against Tutsi happened. It is genocide that occurred due to the bad governance that promoted politics of divisionism and genocide ideologies. The Minister of Unity and Civil Engagement, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, noted that promoting such politics in Rwanda now is not tolerated.
Politika yose yaba ishaka gusenya igihugu ntabwo ishobora gukorwa kuko icyambere.
Any policies that seek to destroy the country cannot be implemented because, first of all, the laws prohibit them, starting with the Constitution. Secondly, any political parties that over the last 28 years have sought to bring back such policies were abolished thanks to collaborations between the government and the parliament. Remember that in 2003, parties like MDR Parmehutu that sought to promote such policies were disintegrated. Politicians today know that such things will not be tolerated. Things like hatred, divisionism, harassment, and genocide ideology. That is the reason a new political party that does not promote unity cannot be accepted, and the Senate has among its responsibilities to monitor for legally recognized parties that have abandoned the policy of unity so that they too can be abolished if necessary.
There are also concerns over so-called politicians who spread hatred and genocidal ideologies using social media sites like YouTube. A specialized researcher on genocide, Tom Dahiro, encouraged authorities to put more efforts in arresting anyone who promotes divisionism and genocide ideologies.
The ideologies that nearly destroyed Rwanda still exist, and the people who spread them are not young individuals. A person as old as I am may understand the significance of what they are saying and the negative repercussions, but younger people could take it as a truth. This is especially the case when such people are not apprehended. Ndamaje may have been stopped, but there are others still doing it, like Agnes Nkusi. Rashid Hakizimana has been stopped, but there is Abdul Bichagaza. It is always the same type of people, and these people are politicians. Calling them politicians would be implying that genocide is a political crime, and perpetrators think that engaging in such crimes is practicing politics. Such things should not be tolerated, and having a large number of such individuals in prison should not be a reason to allow anyone to keep spreading such ideologies. No.
Some groups that claim to defend human rights criticize Rwanda when individuals are arrested for crimes related to genocide ideologies, and veteran politicians like Honorable Tito Rutaremara point out that the government of Rwanda must strike a balance between justice and reconciliation.
This government of national unity is very patient. It hears a person once and thinks the person will change. Next time, no change, and that is when the person is arrested. That is why you still see Karasira and others apprehended. Building unity requires patience, not just the speedy implementation of what the law requires for such matters, and the law is applied as a last resort.
ahanwa akurikije amategeko.
Politicians like Honorable Fatu Harerimana have observed that since youth use social media more than any age groups, they should be at forefront of fight against those who spread genocidal ideologies using the umbrella of politics. They should keep following the dialogues and hear where our country has reached and where it came from, so that they don't waste time watching YouTube and TVs that seek to spread divisionism in Rwanda. Instead, they should be told how such policies almost completely destroyed the country and advise them to come back and apologize to youth. The Rwanda Investigation Bureau recently announced that it received 53 cases of genocide ideologies-related crimes during the week of mourning that marked the 28th commemoration of genocide against Tutsi. Betty Mutoni, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Betty, for the report. And as we move ahead, coffee farmers in Hue district have noted that the increase in coffee cherry price will help them to develop faster and also boost their sector. Ghislaine Mugwaneza has more.
Coffee farmers are appreciating the new coffee cherry price, which was their main request before.
We are happy for the current price because we shall gain profits this time, and it will help us in our everyday life as well as progressing as a farmer.
The new price was announced on February 11, 2022 by the National Agriculture Export Development Board, NAEB. According to NAEB, the minimum price set for coffee cherries is 410 Rwandan francs. However, farmers can get 600 Rwandan francs. Farmers say there are set plans for development. I am planning to rebuild a house because I am too old to manage a cow, but I should rebuild the house even though I wasn't living in a bad house. Maraba Sovu is among the 4 coffee washing stations owned by the Abahuza Mugambi Bakawa Maraba. Maraba Sovu overseer Remy Haganje has said that the increase in coffee cherries price encourages the farmer.
Compared to last year, when you count the money spent by this station within a month, it was the money that were used in the previous season, which means that the money is being distributed in residents.
Not only farmers benefit from the coffee plantations, but also youth that gets job opportunities and an opportunity to develop. Ghislaine Mugwaneza, RTV News.
And still in agriculture, potato farmers in the Mudende sector of Rwanda district thank the government of Rwanda that in the aftermath of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, the government increased security and invested in agriculture, which has increased their productivity, hence helping citizens develop, and they are now to produce enough to eat and more for the market. Ngemezi Jean-Baptiste is an exemplary potato farmer in the Mudende sector. He says before the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, him and his ex-wife were living a poor life. We were living a bad life. We had to struggle to get what to eat. In the aftermath of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, the government helped citizens return to normalcy after the tragedy that left over 1 million Tutsis killed. They gave us over 20 kilograms of potato seed, and I sold them on a small land area, and I got a good harvest. After, there came the Abacengezi War, and after that, I started trading in a market. I got some money that supported my agriculture activities, and that evolved gradually. The journey to rebuild himself was not easy, as in the 1997, the war of Abacengezi killed his wife. Sustainable security was enhanced with time, and through the good governance, agriculture investment was increased, something that gradually speeded development. We thank the government for sustainable security that enabled us to work in peace. We also have infrastructure like roads, which makes it easy to take our produce to the market. After 28 years, Mwemezi plants a potato on a 15-hectare land area. He also managed to establish a potato storage and testifies that his life has generally been transformed.
umaze kugera ku bintu bisa nkaho binshimishije njyewe.
I have so far achieved many things and I'm proud. My children go to school. I was able to buy a truck that helps me to transport my produce to the market, plus another car for my personal use. So potato farming to me is like a degree.
Ikirayi nje kuri njyewe cyambereye nka diplome zanyu.
Except his residential house, Mwemezi has built an apartment in the Gisenyi town. In addition to that, Mwemezi is a livestock farmer. Kigali residents in some of the city's neighborhoods are complaining that incidents of robbery have been on the rise despite local authorities requiring that they pay money for patrols.
The complaints are rife in places like Chinyinya and Kanombe, where local residents say thieves have become so bold they strike during the day. We are always getting robbed, and they recently climbed through a small window in the back and took our radio. This is really bothering us. Traders are particularly irritated because they say that every month they pay for local patrols. We are especially angry about the fact that we are going through this despite paying for local security. This bar is located on the main road and closes at 2 a.m. Now by 5 a.m. we know that regular activities resume. So how can thieves break in during those 3 hours and carry things out without any of those patrols noticing? Either we are paying security money for nothing because those patrols are not competent, or those security personnel are accomplices in the robberies. Local authorities say people cannot expect the patrols to do everything on their own. The patrols help, but the settlement is very big and they cannot be at every house simultaneously, which is why people should be prepared to protect their property and themselves, because when those thieves break in, they are armed with things like knives and can harm a person. Local authorities also claim that progress has been made in fighting such crime. To snuff out such robberies in a given area, we first carry out a mapping exercise to isolate it, and then gather information on how the crimes are being carried out, and place people on site to monitor the situation. Since March 14th, we have successfully arrested 78 thieves. Local residents say the thieves that break in usually know exactly where to find the things they crave most, electronics, and authorities have reiterated that incidents of robberies should be reported as soon as possible.
With the third term of the academic year now underway, authorities in Nyagatare district of the eastern province of Rwanda have now been urging parents to ensure that students get to school on time, especially those in boarding schools. Week-long sensitization efforts have also been launched in the district to get dropouts returned to school.
Boarding schools like Karangazi Secondary School in Nyagatare district are busy preparing for the return of students, and administrators say everything is going according to plan. There are currently food supplies that will last for a month. We avoid buying too much at once so that nothing goes to waste, and our supplier brings in stocks twice a term because too much at once may result in some of it going bad. School administrators elsewhere in the district are calling on parents to send their kids on time. We urge parents to send their children on time because we have noticed that they like to drag their feet about it, yet they have no excuse as to why their kids are late. It's not a problem of school fees because we allow students to come and start studying and are willing to wait for up to 2 weeks for their parents to pay. We turn none back, so that cannot be used as a reason. All students are allowed through the gates regardless of whether or not they carry a bank slip. Some schools in Nyagatare district have decided that they will give small tests to the students before they begin regular classes to see how much of the previous term's work they remember, and local authorities in the district have launched week-long sensitization efforts to get dropouts to return to school, with more than 130 known to have stopped attending classes completely in the previous term and another large number missing out on several. Nyagatare has more than 250 primary and secondary schools and more than 170,000 students.
On behalf of the entire news production team, many thanks for being with us on Rwanda Television News tonight. Have a great week ahead. Goodbye.